Hey beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'll be showing you guys on how to cut a blazer jacket. If you're new to my channel, you're welcome. If you're my old time subscriber, you're welcome back. Please make sure you hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so as to get notified once I upload a new video. So these are the necessary material I'll be using for this tutorial, which are tape rule, a marker pen, pair of scissors and a ruler. So we're just gonna draft a basic bodies and we'll start from the back, then we'll work with the front later. So now to begin with, I will be making my shoulder line, which I'm just marking half an inch in order to create my shoulder line. So now I'll mark it my shoulder line. And now I'll divide my shoulder measurements divided by 2 and I'll add half an inch to it, which is 8. And I also mark my shoulder depth, which is also 8. Then I'll mark my shoulder to bust point, which is 11. Shoulder to my waist, which is 17. And shoulder to my length. Now connect all the points together like so. Now I'm going to be marking my neck depth and my neck width. The neck width I'll be using is 3.5 and the depth will be 2 inch. And I'll connect it together like so. And I'll come down at, now I'm just drawing out my zipper allowance like so. And from that zipper allowance, I'll be marking my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 3.5. I'm going to connect all the points together like so. And the bust point and the chest line. Now the dart intake I'll be making use of is 1 inch, which is half inch at the right and half inch at the left. And I'll connect it to the chest line like so. Remember, we are creating the back pattern. So this is the dart, and now I'll be taking my measurement to create the armhole like so. I come down by 1 inch at the armhole length depth, so I connect it to the neck width like so. Now I'm going to divide my bust circumference divided by 4 and I'll be adding 2 inch sewing allowance like so. I'll measure my waist measurement, waist circumference divided by 4, I'll add 2 and I'll repeat the same process at the length as well. And I'll join all the points together like so. And then I'll create my armhole. At the length, I step up by 2 inch. Now I'll connect the 2 inch like this. This is totally optional. If you want it, you can do, but if you don't want, you can just leave it like that. So yeah, I'm just creating a shape for the back because there I won't be adding any zip at the back. So I'm just trying to create a shape for the back, and then I'll cut everything out. So this is basically the back pattern, and I'm just indicating my green line that I'm to cut two pieces of this. Now I'll keep the back aside and work with the front pattern. So this is the front pattern, and I want you to watch every step I take while I'm creating this. So watch very carefully. Now you remember when we want to draft the back pattern, we left half an inch before we create our shoulder line, but here for the front we'll be leaving about 7 to 6 inch before we create our shoulder line. I'll be explaining why when we proceed in the video, and I'll also be going in by 4 inch before I draw out my center front line. I'll also explain the reason why we are leaving 4 of an inch later in the video. And after that, I'll draft my basic body front pattern. Now basically I've drafted everything, and the only difference is the neck depth and the armhole curve. For the armhole curve, I step in by half an inch after I have measured what I have at the armhole. I divided by 2 and I step out by. Basically everything is the same. And the other difference I would also like to say is that we connect the that leg up to the chest line, but for the front line we will be coming down by 1 inch at the bust line, and basically everything is the same from there. So the dart intake is also half an inch, which is one half an inch at the right, half an inch at the left. And then I'll take my measurement, and I will be making a shoulder dart to this. I'll be applying it to the back as well, but I'll firstly do it. And to do that, you simply need to divide your shoulder, what you're having at your shoulder, divided by 2, and then you just connect it to the nipple to nipple line like so. Just divide what you have at the shoulder and then connect it back to the nipple to nipple darts like so. And then I'm marking my measurement, and I'm adding 2 of an inch allowance. For the shoulder I made at the front, I'll also go back to the back and do the same. But that's when I finish with the front. So this is the front armhole. It's different from the back. Now we'll be working with the lapel. The main reason why we want to be attentive in this, we want to be very careful, and I step out by 1 inch, at the neckline. I'm just marking 1 inch all around like so. You want to mark 1 inch out. You could remember where we left 4 inch before we create our center front line. So I'm just stepping out by 1 inch again like so. And I'll be connecting it to the neckline. I'll also connect it to the length Now, depending on how long or you want your lapel to be, for me, I'll be making use of my waist. So I'll be connecting my waist to my neckline. To create the lapel, I'm going to connect my waist to my neckline, not to the shoulder dart, but to the neckline. So watch as I create it. Just want to make it like a V. So now, depending on how wide you also want your lapel to be, but the standard measurement is 1 inch. The standard measurement is 1 inch. So again, I'll be stepping out by 1 inch. From the neckline, I'll step out by 1 inch, and then I'll just roll it down like so. Though it doesn't necessarily you roll it down, and I'll connect it to the neckline. So from that 1 inch I just step out from, I'll be connecting it to the lapel length like so. So the line I just marked now, they are not actually useful for now. So so the main reason why we left 6 inch at the shoulder line is this. Firstly, I'm going to be measuring what I'm having at my back neckline. And basically what I'm having is 3.5. Again, what I'm having at my neckline is 3.5, which is 3.5. Now, you want to mark that, you want to measure that 3.5 at the shoulder line like so, but you want to make sure it is slant. You want to slant it, not straight. And then you connect it to the neckline like so. That's the first step. And the second step, I'm just trying to retrace everything before we get to the second step. Now, the second step, you want to go out by 1/2 inch as well. From that 3.5, you also want to step out by 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Then you connect that 1/2 inch to the neckline as well. Make sure it is slanted like so. Then the first one will be cancelled because we will not be making use of that. Now, secondly, depending on how wide you want your collar to actually be, for me, I'll be making use of 3.5, and I also make sure it is slanted, not straight. And I'll connect the point like so. Now, because I want my lapel to be a notch jacket, at the lapel neckline, I'll be stepping up by 1/2 inch. I'm stepping up by 1/2 inch. That's the standard measurement, 1/2 inch. Then I'll connect it to that line that we cancelled before. I'll connect it to it like so. Then I'll make a curvy shape to connect to the 3-inch collar wideness. I'm just using my free hand to create a dotted line like so. You just want to make sure it is curved, not straight. So you want to create a curve. Then I'll also be reshaping the neckline because I'm just blending everything to look nice, not sharp. So this is my final color outcome, and I'll be repeating what I said or how I made the color again so that you have a great idea on how to make this, so when you are creating you won't run into any problem. So I will just explain what I did to get this, or I'll explain how I achieved this color. Now the first step is I measure what I'm having at my back neckline, which is 3.5, and that 3.5 I step out by half an inch, making sure it is slant. You don't want to have a very sharp collar. So I marked my collar wideness, which is 3.5. Also, I slant it, and then I went ahead to my lapel neckline, and at that lapel neckline I step up by half an inch to create a notch. So that's the standard. You can go as far as one depending on what you want. But as for me, I'm stepping up by half an inch. Then you connect that half an inch to the first line that we count to, you connect it to it, and then from that half an inch, you connect it to the collar wideness in a curvy manner. And also, you want to watch carefully how I cut this pattern out so that you won't run into any problem when you are recreating yours. The back, I also did the same thing for the front as well. So I'll grab the back after I finish cutting the front, and I will be cutting out the shoulder dart like you see me doing for the back. Now for the collar, this is how you are going to be cutting it out, and you want to be very careful when cutting it out. So this is what I'm having at the end of the day. Also remember to cut out the center front. You don't need the excess. So this is how our lapel will be looking like. It's looking be very beautiful and nice. So this is what I'm having. I'll be working with the back now. I'll be reshaping the back. So I'll just indicate my green line, side front and center front. And I'll be adding my green line, which is how many I am to cut. Now this is the back. The only thing I want to do is just to add the shoulder dart, and then I'll be cutting it out. I also indicate what is for the center back, the side back, indicating my green line, how many to cut. And yes, this is what I'm having at the end of the day, and this is how I'll be cutting it out on my fabric. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please remember to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so as to get notified once I upload a new video. And I also have my basic body sleeve. I'll be creating this on my channel. And yeah, we've come to the end of today's tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Have a wonderful day. God bless you as you subscribe. Bye bye.